Hi, a few people have asked me about this SamSystems INTEGRAL mic, which I've just put into this dualist combo behind here. I've used them before anyway, but just to briefly explain what it's about really, if you don't know already. I've got a 10-inch version floating around because the 12's already in the cabinet. This is what it looks like. It's basically a normal microphone, say normal microphone capsule, which is in that housing there, and it's mounted on a spider, as you can see, which gets quite easily sandwiched between the speaker and the speaker baffle. So if you want to install one, you just literally take your speaker out and put that in, and then that gets trapped between the speaker and the baffle. The microphone is pointed off axis. Well, you can see that there. There we go. So you can see it's not symmetrical, and that's because the microphone is sort of pointing that direction, which is out towards sort of the middle to the edge of the cone, so that it's not focused too much on the centre of the cone. And it's a very convenient solution. On the other end of it is a XLR in this little box, so that can be velcroed or screwed inside your cabinet, and you just plug your typical mic cable straight into the desk. There is another adapter for this unit here, so if you've got, like, I don't know, a rack facility, or you've got a closed back cabinet where you can't get access to that box, it's got an adapter unit which just looks like a normal female XLR connector. So you have to kind of drill a hole, or maybe in a jack panel or something, you'd fix it to that. But yeah, so it's a really kind of convenient, neat solution. And obviously what that helps to negate is the need to have separate microphones, on a stand in front of your cabinet, having to be set up every time, tripping over mic stands, microphone not being in the same place every time. So this is a really easy kind of, once it's installed, once that's in the back of your cabinet, you just plug in and go. Now, the question that I keep getting asked is, does it sound like microphone X or microphone Y? No, it doesn't. It's its own thing, really, and trying to compare it to any particular type of microphone, and I'm probably going to have to say it, aren't I? Something like an SM57 is not the right way to approach this, because this has a fairly flat, uniform response, which then you can EQ at the desk. Whereas microphones, typically, like the SM57 or a Lewitt or something else, they each have their own characteristic. And again, mic placement and EQ on the desk make all the difference as to how those microphones sound. So I would say it's a moot argument, and it's probably not a rational argument to say, does this sound like any other microphone that's stuck on a stand in front of your cabinet? That's a bit like saying I put a JBL in my combo, and it's really good, but it doesn't sound anything like my Celestine Greenback that I took out. Well, of course it doesn't, because it's a completely different unit and device and EQ response. And I'd say that's the way to approach this. The real beauty of this, from a practical point of view, is that, like most people, if you're not blessed with having a really good PA guy who can take care of all your mic setups and you've got loads of space on the floor, if you're a small regular gigging band and you end up in a corner of a pub somewhere every week and it's different, you've got nobody else to look after your kit, this is a really good way of plugging in and going quite quickly. The trick with this is that you probably need to just identify a channel on your desk that you're going to use for your guitar every time, and then just EQ it until you like the sound. The EQ will clearly be different, to maybe an outboard mic. You might want, I don't know, I'm just guessing, you might want a bit more bass, or you might want a bit less top end or something like that. But the thing is, once you've set up your PA channel for your guitar amp, every time you plug in, you're going to get the same result, pretty much consistently, perfectly every time. So yeah, I'd say it's going to be probably not as audio sophisticated as maybe miking up a cab with a, I don't know, a center pointed mic and an ambient mic and 3 microphones on your combo, like a pro PA guy might do for you if you've got a big stage and loads of time and effort. But equally, the alternative to that kind of convoluted setup is to go for load boxes with a DI out, and then you're into a synthetic simulation, which I think is less realistic. So this, at least, compared to say a load box with a DI out, this has got a real microphone in it, and it's placed in front of your speaker, so it's close mic'd, and you're actually hearing the sound of your speaker. You're not hearing the sound of some cabinet simulation or some other processing. You're hearing the sound of your actual speaker in your actual cabinet. You're just getting it to the desk. So no, it's not going to sound like an SM57. It's not going to sound like a Lewitt or all those other mics that people tend to mic up cabs with. But equally, it's not going to sound like a simulated DI box, load cab, whatever you want to. What else you might want to use to do your miking to PA. So yeah, and they're like just under a ton, I think, so about like 90 quid or something. I think they're just a really convenient, useful way to go if you want if you want to make life a bit easier for yourself and a bit more consistent. So I hope that helps you. As I said, comparing it with other stuff is not really the way to approach it. It's a different thing, and of course the pros are that you don't have the setup and mic stands and all the other stuff that goes with it. So it's not apples and apples. It's it does what it says on the tin, and it doesn't try to be anybody else's tin. So I suppose that's the best way to put it. But yeah, they work really well. You just need to spend a bit of time EQing it to get it what you like, and then you're good to go every time. So hopefully that's been useful to you. We'll sign off now. Till the next time.